Hi there. If you're a writer and you're looking for useful resources to enhance your craft, you'll find many of them available at just a click of a button. There are books, blogs, podcasts, masterclasses, even movies to educate as well as inspire you. But there is another useful but very underrated resource that can provide wealth of insights and knowledge about writing in less than 18 minutes. That's right. All you have to do is spend 18 minutes and you will be a little more knowledgeable about writing than you were prior to watching these videos. So, here are some of the best TED and TEDx talks on writing. Here we go. The first in the list is Your Elusive Creative Genius by Elizabeth Gilbert. As you can see, um, Elizabeth Gilbert is a very acclaimed author. On her life, a movie was made, Eat, Pray, and Love. And here she has explained how she writes. Here she is talking about Eat, Pray, and Love and how her elusive creative genius, she captures it when thoughts come. It may be during, uh, just before, I mean, after waking up, or maybe she's doing some chores. So the thoughts come up, and without hesitating, without wasting any time, she goes and note down the thoughts before it goes to any other person. So she views thoughts as gifts from God or from demigods, if you will, and it's a gift. And if that gift is not used and not recorded at the right time, it will go to another person. So here she says that it's a very wonderful TED talk. Very, I mean, I loved it. I watched it in 2017, and it is the my most favorite one till date. Now, moving on to the second, My Years of Saying Yes to Everything, Shonda Rhimes. Shonda Rhimes is she's a screenwriter who has many web series to her credit, like Grey's Anatomy and many of them. And here she says that uh, she talks about the year when she said yes to everything, be it um, acting. Although she is not a trained actor, she tried her hands in that, and many things. So it's a very insightful um, video, TED talk, and writers should also watch this to explore other areas of interest, because um, personally speaking, when writers, they confine in one place and they all they do is sit and write, then the ideas may not be as varied. So writers, to live a writer's life, you have to live your life. You have to know what's there at the other spectrum, at the other end of a, and you have to gain perspectives about the things that you write. So when you're writing screen for series, you may as well understand how a character develops, how a character um, comes to the situation where he or she is currently. So you may as well try to leave that character, even to try your hands at acting, so that you can empathize with the actor that you're writing your script on. So it's a very good TED talk. Now moving to the next, here is this TED talk is Andrew Stanton, The Clues to a Great Story. So it's a he starts with how he went to Scotland and how he got his inspiration for his story, by speaking with a builder, basically. So we can get more. Yeah, filmmaker Andrew Stanton shares what he knows about storytelling, starting at the end and working back to the beginning. So very interesting. you can give it a try. And it is like 19 minutes, more than just a little more than 19 minutes, but you will get a lot of value from this. Now, moving on, how to write an award winning best selling first novel. So, this is by Nathan Filer. So, Nathan Filer is a Scotland based writer, and he starts this, he narrates his experience while he was working as a statistician. He was working on a novel, but his job, he was not very good at his job, and he was like very slow with his novel. So he took some concrete steps to finish his novel, and he shares that insights in this TED talk. So Nathan won the Costa Book Prize in 2013 with his debut novel The Shock of the Fall. It has been translated into 27 languages. Nathan worked part-time as a mental health nurse in Bristol, and his book's narrator is a 19-year-old boy with schizophrenia. He graduated from Bath Spa University in 2010 with an MA in creative writing, and is now a lecturer in creative writing at the university. So he tells his 7 steps of writing a best-selling novel. So let's quickly go to the steps, because it has have specific goals is the goal number one. And so the goal number one is have specific goals, that is to write for certain number of hours, not number of words, but for certain hours. And the second point is make sure your goals are achievable. So when setting goals, make sure that the goals are achievable. And the third point is base your affirmations on fact. So it is good to have affirmations. You can remind your affirmations every single day that you're writing, and you have to base those on facts. And the number fourth is take responsibility. So take responsibility. And this is the sixth one. And focus on on the things that you can control. Focus on what you can control. So he speaks about you can control on finding your literary agent. You can control the number of words that you write. You can control how your novel is going to shape up. But there are certain things beyond your control, like the publisher who will publish the book, the cover of the novel, the stores which will which will sell your book. So those things are not under your control. So you should focus on the things that you can control. Now, moving on to the next, How to Write a Story by John Dufresne. I hope I'm pronouncing the word right. So, John is the author of 5 novels, two of which were New York Times Notable Books of the Year, two short story collections, and two books on writing and creativity. The Lie That Tells the Truth, A Guide to Writing Fiction, and Is Life Like This? A Guide to Writing Your First Novel in 6 Months. The New York Times Book Review wrote of his latest novel, No Regrets, quote, John is an original talent. His humor is frightfully dark, but also quite dazzling, even by the exacting standards of South Florida crime fiction. John was a 2012-13 Guggenheim Fellow and teaches in FIU's Creative Writing MFA program. To be very honest, I don't know what FIU stands for, but I'm assuming that it is, oh, this is a very college, arts and science, that he's picking this, his uh, giving his talk, TED talk. So here he tells a beautiful story. I mean, it's a very hauntingly beautiful story about a girl who is an addict, and he passed on, but his her parents are blaming themselves because of her demise. So And he beautifully crafts the story, and he tells that how as a storyteller you can go about creating a world of your characters, and you can shape them up. So he tells everything about that in this video. It's a very basic video. I mean, all about storytelling, and most of the part he tells the story the about the character who died, and how the parents are reacting, and how the parents are so shaken up, so devastated by their loss, that so half of the time went like that, and half of the time he explains about the concepts of creating a story. Now moving on. Words, not ideas. My God, this is one of the best. So it is narrated by Baman. So a professional writer who also coaches other writers, helps us find way to dust off our manuscript and finish that masterpiece that is being calling our name under those piles of aspirations. Matty Zon Banman is a writer and editor focused on food, travel, and poetry. Wine, wilderness, and words brought him to Portland, Oregon, where he serves as editor of Eater Portland and regularly writes for Northwest Travel magazine. Matty has contributed to 11 books on culinary travel and 9 travel guides to Italy and the United States. And he also provides developmental editing services to help others write books. He got his start entering at McSweeney's Publishing and Xivia Literary Magazine. So you can also follow mattizonbaman.com to see his writings and photography portfolios. So we'll wait for this ad to skip. Yeah. So he tells about how he took up writing, and he was interning. Yeah, he tells here that as a kid, I used to. So his neighbor was Theodore. His neighbor was a poet, Theodore Einstein. One day, while he was stacking some firewood, he stacked up bit by bit, wood by wood, and Ted told him that considering the way you stack the firewood, you're going to be a very good poet. So he tells that was his journey, and how writers often fall into the trap that they think that ideas are the most essential elements of a novel, of a book, but that is not the case. Books are being created, crafted by the very choice of words. So it is the words that matter for a writer. For a writer, he has to be very good with the words that he, because that's the definition of a wordsmith. Writers are often called wordsmith, and they have thousands of words. They should have thousands of words at their disposal to write compelling piece of novel, to show, not just to tell, because this is creative writing. So in creative writing, one has to have that elements of um, extensive vocabulary to communicate, to show the readers what they're trying to say. But business writing is different. We'll go to business writing just uh, yeah, yeah, this is about business writing. So Adam Bain, so this is purely business, and he has a totally different thing that Matt was saying. In today's world, communication is everything. It is important to remember that while the spoken word perishes, the written word remains. So writing skills are vital to one's success. But how to do it well, and most importantly, where to start? Adam Bain gives us clues to good writing. Teacher, content creator, editor, and YouTuber with more than 3 million followers on his 2 channels. This talk was given at TEDx event using the TED conference format. Okay. So he tells that how poor communication in the United States alone costs 400, is it million or billion? I am missing the currency, the amount, but it is like, let's assume an X amount of millions of dollars every year. So poor communication is a very big deterrent when it comes to productivity, employees' productivity, as well as a company's profitability. So one has to be very careful, and one has to write simple, clear messages to get their message across to the intended receiver. So it is also very effective for people who are in business writing, who are creating content for B2B or for businesses. Now, the next is how to write like a writer, Claudia Casper. So, Casper is the 2017 uh, Award, Philip K. Dick Award-winning author of the Mercy Journals, as well as the reconstruction and the continuation of love by other means. She knows a lot about what it takes to write a book and tell incredible stories. And in the first TEDx talks, she shares her insights so that you can too. And the award-winning author talks. So it is basically a very basic talk how to write like a writer. She in this video she tells that writer's life is not very glamorous because one has to they all have to do is sit and think constantly and create the message. So it is not that you will find very exceptional insights, but yeah, this will also give you some insights. To be very honest, I noted down the insights, but I'm not carrying the pad with me right now. Yeah, it is all about rewriting. Rejection is also is going to be a big part. The tools she speaks about, the tools that you need. So some very good insights you're going to get. Rewriting, asking questions, research, tuning folk, how you can measure. Yeah, in the skills tools, she tells about the skills that 10,000 hours or your hobby towards this writing field. So that's, I mean, your practice is basically your tool. The hours you spend and the experience you gain are your tools. Now, moving on to the final one, Sakina Hofler, how creative writing can help you through life's hardest moment. So, have you ever seen or experienced something and wished you spoke up? Writer Sakina Hofler makes the case for writing as a tool to help you process difficult memories and reclaim the power they may hold. Pick up a pen or pull up a keyboard and follow along as she walks you through how to unburden your mind and inspire reflection. So she talks about how difficult it was growing up after 9/11, and how writing, because she was teased by some people, she was assaulted, and a friend of her puts a gun on her head. And apart from that, her boss, when she grew up and she got a job, her boss asked her many questions about her ethnicity, about her lineage, and where she came from, just because the boss was sitting in an empty table, all by himself, and she dared to go and grab a seat over there. So, but she what she did is she took all those experiences and wrote what she felt like, and now those are uh, pieces of literature. So it's also a very good TED talk. And at the end, she has explained how she counted. I mean, she wrote the thing that the mean things that her boss told her. So now, these are the 9 TED Talks for writers. But apart from these 9, you will also get many TED Talks for writers. So if you feel like, you can just browse YouTube or TED platform to watch. And apart from that, there are also blogs, compilations of the great TED Talks for writers. So, if you find any value in this video, please do like, please do comment about any more videos you have watched about on writing. And if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. Thank you very much. And I remain with this. Thank you very much.